जब भी बुलाएगा मैं जरूर आऊंगा.
Paulie here, going into the theater, and check this out. We're doing a pregame because this is the second theater I'm seeing for the same film. I was in the city of Monterey Park watching the first 15 minutes of Salaar, and pop, power goes out. What? We get the free ticket, but I'm like, man, I gotta finish. I had just started. That 15 minutes was incredible. So what am I doing for you guys? I drove to a whole nother part of town. That's right, Lakewood. Long Beach to see this film, Salaar, and I'm gonna see it because those first 15 minutes were incredible. My word is bond. Those two friends got a bond, and I'm like, wow, what a great catch, what a great opening hook. So I actually would love some PayPal help because this ticket was not cheap. Gas is not cheap. PayPal help right now. The link is there in the video box. I appreciate any amount. I'm gonna see you either at the interval or at the when I walk on out at the end of the film. I'm excited to see Salaar starring Prabhas. Let's do this. I'm dedicated for you guys. Okay, out of the theater. This huge, crazy theater. And I am going to give you my mild spoilers for the film Salaar, Ceasefire Part 1, starring Prabhas, written and directed by Prashneeth Neal, and he's the same guy that did KGF for Part 1 and 2, which it makes sense. First of all, this is a visionary epic. It is incredible. It's made beautifully. I couldn't get over it, and it got better and better. This is Prabhas' best role since Bahubali. He's an incredible leading man. He's just like this big, hulking linebacker who also has a kind of like this gentle, vulnerable spirit to him that was a great role for him. So, there's so many wonderful lines and interesting relationships here that are put to test because these two men that are bounded since childhood to be kind of each other's, road dogs. There's a twist at the end of Part 1 that puts it all in jeopardy. So, I was, for it being 3 hours, I was just blown away by how more and more incredible storytelling just kept happening. It just kept happening. And it's really interesting because like the first part of the movie is very much kind of like gently telling the story of the relationships. There's some violence here and there, but it's not really to the end of Part 1 that we see Prabhas' character really kind of come out of his cocoon and start smoking fools because he's taken an oath, kind of like a Bruce Lee promises his mom not to fight until his mom says go and fight. So the second half of it is just wild because they jump into this fictional kind of part of India, this fictional city, and it gives this backstory and history of these three main tribes that were so defiant over 1,000 years that when British rule came, the British couldn't even beat their ass. They beheaded the British. I mean, it wasn't even funny. So out of that state, right? This kind of like just terrifying warrior state, they created Kansar, which is their country, and they ruled it, and they're just all warriors. And so there's, I believe, I don't know how many, I forgot who's on the governing board, right? But there's a king, and they all decide on certain things. And it's basically, they're all war chieftains. It's major overlords type of things, and it's just so cool. It's so well done. Each main governor that we see is like this different character. One's a lunatic, wide-eyed weirdo that drugs prisoners and makes his own zombie army. That was wild. That was wild, man. So I just love the scope of it. It was just the scope of that movie is just so insane. I just absolutely loved it. It's so unflinchingly just macho and badass and just protecting also too the mothers and the women. There's an actual really heavy line there where Prabhas' character, who is Salaar, he loses his shit when a woman is hurt, when a woman is in danger, when a female child is in danger. He completely loses it, and that's a great scene. It's pretty bloody, it's pretty violent, especially that second part. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking back at this year of Indian cinema that I've seen, and just as far as all the elements, kind of like historical background, kind of like creating that fictional lore, and then the beauty of the filmmaking, the storytelling, the actors, Prabhas. I don't think there's a movie that can hold up to it. I mean, and listen, man, I like some of these movies that came out of India. I liked Animal. I liked the Shah Rukh Khan one. Those come to mind, but this might be the one. This might be the best one of this year. And immediately I'm like, when's part 2 coming out? When is part 2 coming out? Because it ended on an incredible cliffhanger twist that you're just like, son of a gun. Of course they're gonna add that to the mix, right? Of course they're gonna add that to the mix. Again, I read some Indian papers where they're kind of like, Prabhas wouldn't be anything without S.S. Rajamoul, and he's washed up, he's not a real star. I mean, that's all garbage, man. I get that people are very territorial with their stars. India has some incredible leading men, but y'all need to chill. Prabhas is an incredible leading man, and he's now worked with 2 incredible directors, S.S. Rajamoul and Parith Nail. Sorry if I'm saying his name wrong. So I don't get the hate. He's been in some like films that weren't, couldn't put a candle to this one. But that's just with any leading man. You pick your projects, and you can only do so much. Here though, back in form, incredible character. So yeah, I mean, really, story-wise, these two friends give an oath to each other after one saves the other. The other saves him and his mom and they just have an oath that, that when I need you, I'll come calling. And the buddy who saved him and his mom becomes, the next in line to be king. There's a great line. So Salaar refers to an old story of the Persian army where the Sultan didn't waste his army to figure out a problem with like an opposing foe. He just got one man, and now one man answered the call and would wipe out the army, and that's a Salaar. And that's what Salaar is. That's what Prabhas's character does. It's just it's pretty amazing. So that is my semi spoilers. I would love, as I go past this like huge waterfall. That's why it's so loud. Here's what I would love. I would love for anyone who's seen this movie to let me know what you think. Anyone who has any additional info, let me know what you think. Tell us the info. Was Kansar, the city-state, conceived after, a part of India that was just so rebellious that, they're still known for just being like, incredible warriors, all that stuff. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Check out our Indian playlist. Also, too, hit that PayPal. We worked hard for this one tonight, man. We went all over town for this one, so we could really use your PayPal. That would be wonderful. This is gonna be, when I have the info, I'll update it in the video box as far as where and when it's streaming, because I don't think it's gonna be in theaters, in American theaters for more than a couple more days. It's had a great run here in the States the last 2 months, but I think its time has ended. Congratulations to Prabhas and to this production. Can't wait for part 2. It's an incredible cast, guys. Incredible. I don't know all the actors' names, but I love them all. Wasn't a weak actor in sight. And the score, the music was so good. So good. I gotta tell you, man, there was a part where they were both in prison for wrecking fools. This is towards the end of the second part. And they had this music going, and Prabhas was like just telling him he was sorry. I got a little teary-eyed. That was wonderful. All right, my friends, let me know what you think. Thank you, guys. Make sure you guys are subscribed wherever you're at. Keep that slam fuerte. There's really nothing as unapologetic and as entertaining as Indian cinema is right now. Paz. Hey, Paulie, I'm back here at the house after driving back from the movie theater, and there was a really important component of this film that I wanted to talk about that's sitting with me, and it's this statement of women and kind of oppressive sex, almost a sex trafficking anti-stance, of course, that the director and the vision was taking, was these women of different ages in this village dressed in red robes, and they're praying to their god because they were basically there for one of the gangs to take advantage of. Kind of like it's part of their traditions. It's part of like this ancient horrible tradition where the one of the warlords flies a kite, wherever it lands, he gets one of the women. Yeah, it's pretty brutal, and the way that the director showed it, my hat's off to him for taking such a strong stance on it, because you almost don't. There's other ways that you can show our lead characters kind of principles when it comes to women, but this was incredible because it was a village of women, different ages, praying for God to intervene. And they say he never does. So then one of the young ladies says, well, I'm going to pray for a demon to come and protect us. And the demon is Salaar. He comes and saves him. And it's really heavy. It's so incredibly well done that there is even I want to say a musical number, a heightened musical chorus where, spoilers, guys, Salaar takes down the war chief in front of everyone, the women, the men there, and the women start chanting because they can't believe that someone has come to save them, because has taken this stance. And it was incredibly powerful, haunting, beautiful. Even the elder lady, the elder, and they're all very indigenous looking. She goes and touches Salaar, and he's like, whoa. He's like, I'm sorry, I just wanted to make sure you're real. So I wanted to throw that at you guys as part of this. It's yes, it's this hyper macho adventure film, hyper reality, but there's some guts. There's some wonderful things, and it goes to show you that you can tell your message, get messages in there while you're entertaining. It's pretty amazing, and Hollywood, take note from these incredible directors. All right, there you have it. A little addendum to my review. Bas.
बड़ी बड़ी दीवारें बनाते हैं डर की वजह से